Young and the Restless. Spoilers. The line between redemption and relapse is rarely clear, and for Adam Newman it has never been thinner than it is now. What began as a calculated mission to help Nick dismantle Matt Clark is quietly unraveling into something far more dangerous, far more personal, and far more unpredictable than anyone anticipated. Because beneath the strategy, beneath the loyalty, beneath the promise Adam made to Chelsea and Connor, there is something else stirring, something older, darker, and far less controlled. Las Vegas was never just a destination. It was a trigger. The moment Adam set foot back in that city, something shifted inside him. It wasn't immediate, not obvious, not something anyone else could point to and name. But it was there, subtle and invasive, like a memory pressing against the surface of his mind, waiting for permission to return. Vegas had once been his escape, but it had also been his exile. It was where he stopped being Adam Newman and became someone else entirely, someone untethered from guilt, from consequence, from identity itself. Spider was never just an alias. Spider was a survival mechanism born from trauma, isolation, and a desperate need to disappear from the weight of everything Adam had done and everything he could never undo. And now, standing in the same city where that version of him once thrived, Adam is being forced to confront a truth he has spent years trying to bury, that Spider was not a phase. Spider was a part of him. A part that never truly died. The mission involving Matt Clark should have been simple in theory. Strategic, controlled, a coordinated effort between Adam and Nick built on uneasy trust but grounded in a shared goal. But Adam has never been someone who operates cleanly when emotions begin to bleed into the equation, and Vegas has a way of dissolving boundaries. The deeper he moves into this assignment, the more the lines begin to blur, not just between right and wrong, but between who he is and who he used to be. Riza Thompson's presence only accelerates that unraveling. Her reappearance is not coincidental. It feels almost inevitable, as though the past itself is refusing to remain buried. The moment she steps back into Adam's orbit, the carefully constructed walls around his identity begin to fracture. She does not see the man Adam has tried to become. She sees the one he used to be, the one who lived without restraint, without fear, without attachment. And when she leans in, when she reminds him of what they once were, when she closes the distance and kisses him, it is not just an impulsive act. It is a spark. A dangerous one. Because that kiss is not about desire alone. It is about recognition. It is about awakening something Adam thought he had locked away. And for a brief disorienting moment, he does not pull away fast enough. That hesitation says more than any words ever could. It reveals that the past still has a hold on him, that Spider is not as distant as he wants to believe, and that the version of himself he promised Chelsea he would never become again is closer to the surface than he is willing to admit. Chelsea senses it before Adam ever says a word. Her concern is not rooted in jealousy, though. The betrayal cuts deeper than she is prepared to face. It is rooted in fear, the kind of fear that comes from knowing someone too well, from recognizing the subtle shifts in behavior that signal something is wrong long before it becomes undeniable. She has seen Adam at his worst. She has watched him spiral, watched him lose himself, watched him make choices that destroyed everything around him. And now, as he disappears into Vegas under the guise of a mission, she cannot shake the feeling that history is beginning to repeat itself. Adam tries to reassure her. He tells her what she needs to hear. He promises that nothing will come before the family they have built together, that Connor remains his priority, that he is in control. But even as he speaks those words, there is a disconnect, something hollow beneath the surface, because promises require stability and Adam is standing on unstable ground. The truth is, he does not fully trust himself. The deeper he goes into this situation, the more he begins to rationalize choices he once would have questioned. The tactics become sharper, colder, more reminiscent of the man he used to be. There is a calculated edge returning to his decisions, a willingness to cross lines if it means achieving his objective. And while part of him justifies it as necessary, arguing that Matt Clark is dangerous, that the stakes demand extreme measures, another part of him knows this is how it starts. Not with one catastrophic decision, but with a series of smaller ones that gradually erode his moral boundaries. And then there are the memories. They do not return all at once. They come in fragments, in flashes, in moments where reality seems to blur with the past. A familiar street, a dimly lit room, the sound of a voice that no longer exists. The feeling of being untouchable, untraceable, unaccountable. Spider did not live with consequences. Spider did not carry guilt. Spider survived by disconnecting, by detaching, by becoming someone who could do what Adam Newman could not. That version of him is seductive in its simplicity. No expectations, no family to protect, no past to answer for, just instinct and survival. And that is exactly what makes it dangerous. Because Adam is not just remembering Spider, he is beginning to understand him again, to empathize with him, to see the appeal in becoming him even temporarily, even for the sake of the mission. It becomes easier to justify stepping into that mindset when the alternative feels heavier, more complicated, more painful, but the moment he allows that shift even slightly, he risks losing control of it entirely. Meanwhile, the situation with Matt Clark intensifies. What was once a strategic pursuit begins to feel personal. Adam's decisions grow increasingly aggressive, increasingly risky, as though he is no longer just trying to stop Matt, but prove something to himself, to his past, to the part of him that refuses to stay buried. There is a tension building not just in the external conflict, but within Adam himself, a war between the man he wants to be and the man he knows he can become. Nick, though not fully aware of the internal struggle Adam is facing, begins to notice the change, the methods, the tone, the subtle lack of restraint. Trust between them was always fragile, and now it feels like it could fracture at any moment. Because Nick does not just fear failure. He fears what Adam might do in order to succeed. And then there is Chelsea left waiting, watching, sensing that something is slipping away from her. The worst part is not knowing, not having proof, not being able to confront something concrete. It is the uncertainty that eats at her, the possibility that Adam is already crossing lines he swore he would never cross again. The kiss with Riza is just the beginning. A signal, a warning, a crack in the foundation that could widen into something irreversible if left unchecked. Adam believes he can walk this line. That he can use the darkness without being consumed by it, that he can revisit Spider without becoming him again. But history suggests otherwise. Because the last time Adam disappeared into Vegas, he did not come back the same, man. And this time, the stakes are even higher. This time, he has something to lose. Which only makes the fall that much more devastating if and when it comes.